Hey guys, how's it going? It is December 30th, 2018, and we're just past 10:30, 10:32 p.m. to be exact. So, here we are on a interesting holiday. It's been a little while since I don't know, how long has it been? I think I had a couple nights there where I was last on here doing some stuff with Run 8 or whatever. I think I was in this. Honestly, it seems so long ago. I can't remember. I was just into my I was just in the video manager there, and I was just looking, and I was like, oh wow. Even my son was saying to me tonight, and I just dropped him off for the night because I got to go into work for tomorrow for half a day. I don't know why, but I'll take it. I'd rather work half a day than have to work a full day. Or it's been great to have this whole last week off. It really has. I mean, at times it's been scary, full of separation, and then time where you have a bunch of time on you. Sometimes you have too much time on your hands, if that makes sense. I guess you can never have too much time in your hands when you're with your son. But anyways, I'm not complaining, that's for sure. But wow, so it's kind of weird because it feels. My son said it was like a cold shower, although he's in a very good mood right now, and he was happy to go home and see his mom tonight because he hadn't seen her in a couple days, and so he was happy to do that. So kind of a look ahead of where I'm going to be in about another 30 days, or 32 to be exact, or whatever the hell it's going to be. Probably going to be about 30 days because I think I'm moving in a few days early. But so, anyways, I gotta breathe now. I just got in with probably about another, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. And it's been crazy. Crazy in some senses. I mean, there's been times where we took 2 day trips in the last 3 days. We took it easy the one day. He hasn't had karate. He's been out of karate now since, I don't know. It's been, I can't remember exactly the. I guess it was at the beginning of not. I think last Saturday was his last day of karate before they don't have any more. They don't have any more until January the 7th, I think. So I mean these. I remember what it was like when I was in school. They just give you all kinds of time off. My son was saying to him, it feels like he's been on a long vacation. It's been. He says, the days go by quick sometimes. He says, but it just seems like he's been on vacation forever. And I said, well, that's a good sign. And I says, yeah, it hasn't really blown by too fast for me. There's been some days that have been really blown by fast for both of us, actually. He even said that the other day. He said, can't believe, like, it was like, I think it was yesterday. He couldn't believe how fast the day blew by. And, I said, well, you woke up late too, and, those things happen. And even today, in many aspects, today went by pretty quick. So I mean, I told him, I said, yeah, that some of these days will go by real quick, but it hasn't. The whole week hasn't really gone by as that quick. There's been a lot of, I don't know, what do you say? You have these fast times where things are going by really quick, and then there's times where it seems like it seems like it takes forever. Because in between, there's times where I don't see my son, and then there's times where I see him. There's times where I'm seeing him where we're not too sure what we're going to do because we've been doing the same thing over and over. I mean, basically yes, it was yesterday we went for a walk. Well, let me work backwards. Today I'll work backwards. It's easier for me to work backwards because that's the only way I'm going to remember. So let me open up the big map here. We've gone on 2 day trips. So I live here in St. Catharines, which is Niagara Peninsula, which is between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. This is the US side, that's Canada. So I live in St. Catharines, and my son also lives in St. Catharines. So today we went on a day trip. I had to wake him up at 10:30. Mind you, we went to bed at 12:30, so I had to wake him up at 10:30 after 10 hours sleep. Me, I was kind of iffy. This was the first night in a while where I woke up after 6 hours or so, and I felt a little bit of an uneasiness because of, one, I'm not back to the routine, but I'm being, because it's kind of weird. I have to work half a day tomorrow. Then I get him right after work at 12:30 p.m. I'm picking him up, and I have him all the way through for the next until approximately 48 hours from now, or maybe 47 if you want to be exact, because I'll be dropping him off on New Year's Day, the night of, on Tuesday. I'll be dropping him off at around just before 10 p.m. because because then he goes on a trip all the way up to this area here, which is Washago. This is a spot I hung around many summers up here with my parents, and we've hung up there a few times, but yeah, his aunt lives up in this area. So this is central Ontario, so this is an area where there's a lot of cottages and Trent Severn Waterway. We've gone to Wabash or Penetanguishene. We've rented a boat one time, him and I. Yeah, we've had some crazy adventures. But we talked a lot about some things tonight, and we tried a few things, which was really good as well. So he's doing that on, I guess that would be the day I go back to work for good, or at least for a short week until the following week is where it really all begins, because that's when everything goes back to normal, and there's short weeks and 3-day weeks and all that other crap. Things go back to normal, and the long 2 months or whatever until I get another amount of time off again, I guess. I could take vacation time if I wanted to winter, but why waste the days, right? So yeah, we've been through this area. So he's going up there for 2 days on Wednesday and Thursday. I normally see him on Thursday. I will not see him this coming Thursday. Actually, Scott and I will probably be running on Thursday, which I really gotta. I gotta talk to him. I gotta send him an email and hopefully talk to him maybe this time 2 nights from now if he's up. If he's available, I'll be back here about 10:15 or so p.m. if not earlier. I gotta talk to him and try to figure out some ideas, because I know we're talking about doing something in the southeast. I had some fun doing that the other day, and I know he likes the northeast too, but he might want to mix things up, and I'm not exactly sure which way we're going to be running. I don't know if I'm going to do a live stream then. I am going to be doing a live stream on Wednesday. And of course, disclaimer guys, if you guys are in the chat room looking to ask me questions and all that other stuff, I can't see what you're doing. I got one screen in front of me, the screen that you see, and that's it. So I don't have double screens. I don't have my cell phone checking my chat and all that other stuff. So read the comments. You can post questions if you have any. Just so I'm not seeing them right now, and I don't review them later. The only thing I check is when it gets posted online, and if you guys, once it's been posted to YouTube, then I can reply to comments afterwards. So if you guys are asking questions in there, I cannot see them. So that's basically how that works. So what do we do today? So let's start. That's the future. That's his future. So lucky him. And then he gets the Monday off because of some, I don't know, like professional activity day BS or whatever. Just an excuse for teachers to have another day off. And kids apparently. So I remember those days. They were fun. So today, like I said, I got him out of bed at 10:30. We headed over and followed the QEW, and we went to a place that I've probably talked to you guys before, which is, if I can find it, well, it's past here, past Newcastle. I can't find it. It's got to be out here. Is it that far away? Oh, there it is, Port Hope. Hello. Port Hope. So yeah, I go all the way around, all the way out past, I was going to say down that way, but yeah. So, almost halfway around Lake Ontario, or at least a good third, I would say. But it takes about 2.5 hours in traffic. It takes almost 3. But why Port Hope? Sometimes I wonder why myself, because in reality I could probably get away with going to Whitby and seeing the same amount of traffic, or if I didn't care too much about the passenger trains, which the funny thing was we didn't see that many freights. We saw, like, I don't know, I think we saw 8 freights, which was not much. But passengers, I mean, all in between the lulls and there would be tons of passengers. So nothing to write home about. But it was for a Sunday, so Sunday traffic levels I think are a little bit lower. So it was still good. The cool thing about it, though, was I'll show you what was really cool about it. I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'll do it anyways. Just keep it a secret, because this isn't about that. I'll just show you just real quickly what I was doing. And no, I wasn't on the servers. I was actually, I have a setup for ATCS on my son's webbook. So what happens, now this is the server that I'm attached to, but anyways, let me go into, I'll go to the CP lane, or nah, let's go to the outer lines. I'll go to the outer lines and see what we get. Yeah, that works. So anyways, that Washago area that I was talking about, it's actually here, which is kind of cool. But where we were, this was really cool, actually. So I wanted to show this part because Port Hope is here. Now, that's on the CP line. We did not see one single train from about the time we arrived, which probably was at, seemed around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We ended up leaving at 7. But we did not see one train on CP that whole time. Now, we saw a lot of freights go through. Now, CN Coburg, which is a little bit further east, I'll show you. So CN Coburg actually is over this way. So it's not too far away. So that was coming in nicely. It was actually very pleasant that we were able to get that. I was quite pleased by that. Now you might be looking at this. Whoops. I'll get the right one. Now you see there's no indication showing up here. That's because the server doesn't detect it. But I was pleased to see that both CN Coburg and Grafton, I've been having issues picking up CN ATCS through my webbook, but I was able to pick it up. What really, I mean, this was a big test for me, because like I said, I was in Bellevue, Ohio, and I was able to pick up pretty much everything in Bellevue. And I was really pleased. It was one of the best successful ATCSs that I was able to do. And in Bellevue, Ohio, like I said, I picked up everything. Until that time, if I was to show you, like, for example, this one, I'll close this off for a second, and I'll show you this. Yeah. Let me go into the options here, and I'm going to change the display. You can see I'm just demonstrating, so I'm not really showing what's going on. That's not the point. But if I was to go Golden Horseshoe 2018, I'll show you another thing. And this is where I was out actually. I was out here doing this a couple of days ago. I like going to Brantford. Brantford's not too bad. That's only about an hour away. I'm out here at Glen Ridge. So we actually just saw train 330 actually on our way back. It was kind of nice. But we didn't use ATCS coming back. This whole area, for whatever reason, even though the server picks it up, I can't pick it up. No matter, it doesn't seem what I do. I have a dongle. Basically, it's an HSDR, or whatever the hell they call those things. They're basically a thing you plug into USB, and it's USB radio. I cannot pick anything. The only thing I can pick up is this Lehu. We were in London. I'll talk more about that. I was able to pick up Lehu. I barely picked up Frotz. I picked up Pottersburg. I was sitting at London Junction. I could not pick up London Junction. Couldn't pick up. I think I picked up McLeod maybe once, but hardly. Rideout I kept on getting, and then 10 miles away, even though I was sitting at London Junction, I was able to get Kamoka Junction every now and then. So I went over right to Kamoka Junction, sat there with my son a couple days ago, and was able to get that, but I couldn't get Melrose. That's the same CP line that kind of heads towards Montreal via Toronto. And yeah, I like going to Brantford, especially the evening at night, because there's a lot of, you know, freight traffic, a little bit of passengers, but there tends to be a little bit more freight. That seems to be the case in the evenings east of Toronto too, but it seems like everything starts picking up a lot more towards the night than it does during the day. And I don't mind watching trains at night as long as I can see what's going on. But certain places I just can't pick up. And it was really bugging the hell out of me, right? So I showed you that one area up by Coburg there that I was able to pick up, so I was happy to see that. So I was able to see pretty much indications of any CN that's coming. But the thing with CN is they come all the time, so it's not a big deal. I'll show you the other one here. So if I was to go into the CP lines, this is all of, you know, pretty much southern and central Ontario. If I was to go into the CP lines only, oh, there is McCowan. So see, I told my son McCowan was a CP. We were talking about that because we passed McCowan Avenue coming home, and I said, so anyways, but that was one of the street names. There's a Kennedy too. I didn't know that. There's a CN Kennedy, I think, too. But anyways, so yeah, Hamilton sub, that's more closer towards me. And then see right now, wow, it's actually starting to pick up a little bit, which is surprising because there's hardly any traffic earlier today. But I can see it starting to pick up now, which is good. Unfortunately for us during the day there was nothing, but all these areas on the Belleville sub, this is where we started scanning as we were coming out of Toronto. We hit Toronto Yard. We were able to pick up Toronto Yard. I don't think we picked up this one. This is on the 401, just driving east. We were able to pick up Cherrywood West east. I think we picked up Whitby. Oshawa we didn't pick up, only because I think it's a little bit further back in the city, so we weren't getting good. But we got Darlington, Lovekin, and then Port Hope. We pretty much got every single control point was able to light up for us. The only problem was there was no trains. We didn't see one CP train today, unfortunately, so that's the way it goes. But man, Guelph Junction, I'm surprised with this. This is actually very surprising. So there's one coming off the Hamilton sub, and then there's one coming down or heading west. But yeah, but that's it. This isn't a very busy line. This is not a transcontinental. The one transcontinental that is here runs off of this is the transcontinental right here, and unfortunately the ATCS doesn't show too much of it, but a lot of the intermodal comes from this area. So they have an intermodal facility here. So all the manifests come in off of Toronto Yard, which is somewhere around, I saw it over here. Did I go too far? I don't know. Oh, down here, Belleville sub. So, yeah, so Toronto Yard and wherever the hell that comes off of, I guess it would come out of this side. So a lot of the transcontinental stuff will come through here, go up here, and then this is the transcontinental heading to Western Canada, just like that. So it's good stuff. So anyways, I wanted to show that. It was very successful, even though I didn't get any CP trains. I saw plenty of CN trains. What that did for me was it was able to reaffirm that I am able to pick, despite the fact that I'm having difficulty picking up a lot of the CN MCPs, I am able to pick up the CNs. Or sorry, I'm able to pick up the CPs. I know I can pick up the Norfolk Southern ones for some reason. And this is from one of our trips over to, wherever the hell are we? Bellevue, Ohio? I know you're somewhere around here. Oh, geez. There it is, right here. So we went to Bellevue, Ohio, and we were able to pick up all the NS. I don't know if I have that on there, too. Probably don't. Maybe I do. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Date modified. NS Buffalo. I probably don't. Sarnia, London. Doesn't look like I have Bellevue. Willard subserver. No. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Good enough. So, but Bellevue I'm able to pick up with his webbook and just the dongle, and we can hook up to the MCP frequency and get everything. Now the good thing is you can use the BCPs, but they're not as accurate to tell you where the trains are. So anyways, I said about today, this was a good trip today. It certainly you know, helped because it I mean, I wasn't thinking about going back to work tomorrow. I wasn't thinking about the fact that in 2 days I go back to work for real, like in other words, full days, and try to get back into the grind again. But not to mention I don't see him on Thursday, which is kind of sucks, but still I've seen plenty of them, so it's been pretty good. It's definitely been good. Yesterday we went for a walk. I mean, this is cool. I mean, it's kind of weird because the most thing we've been playing video games is the Crew 2. But no, there was the time yesterday where it's just like towards the end of, there was not too much daylight left, and there was still pretty good. We actually walked out to this. What this is a, when they built the Welland Ship Canal, they actually dumped all this out into Lake Ontario back in the 1930s. So this is all land that was dug up from the canal when they built it, and they created the artificial piers. So they hauled it. There's this Seaway haulage road that you can walk down, and there's trails and what have you. Hadn't been out there in probably a good 10 years, but yeah, we went for a walk and he loved it, so he had a great time. It was so cool. I mean, he was, even that, he was still in such a good mood tonight. I mean, he's got, I'm so happy for him that, you know, he's got this, and then despite the fact that the stress is still there for me moving, or getting ready to move, I mean, I'm looking forward to moving back with him. I'll go through the stress, and I'm looking around though. There's really not too much more that I have to go through. It looks like a freaking mess in here, but I've been able to get a lot of stuff done. Still a lot to do, but both myself and my son believe that we really don't have too much to go through, and plus he says he's going to help me. He says he'll help go through stuff with me, so you know, that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. And worst case scenario is if I can't sort through this stuff, I've thrown out a lot of stuff, I've given away a lot of stuff, so Got rid of his old baby chair or whatever the hell you call it, the car seats or whatever. I mean, he's 10 years old, and I had this car seat sitting around for the longest time, so that's gone. My raft is in a new container that I bought over the last week. We packed that up into a big plastic container. It was over 3 feet. We got that out. That's sitting in my new apartment. Actually, sorry, it's sitting in the laundry room of the house, but of where I'm moving back to. So I'm looking forward to that. 2 days ago, though, I was telling you I went out to Brantford. I actually met up with friend Walter, who lives in he lives in Beachville between Woodstock and Ingersoll. He actually has a YouTube channel. If you guys ever want to check it out, Railpast, RAILPAST. If you look for that in YouTube, you'll be able to see a lot of stuff going on. And it was kind of cool because it was the first time that I actually got to see. It was on a Friday, so I got to see F units. They actually use, I think, was it F7s or F9s? I can't remember what they are exactly, to be honest, but they use F units as switchers. Old CN F units, I think they used on the. I don't know. No, they didn't use it on the Canadian. Wouldn't have, because CP would have been the Canadian. So, but probably some of CN's passenger equipment refurbished or whatever over the years. But it's really cool. Ontario Southern Railroad, which is like a short line that runs in this area and interchanges with CP and CN run through this area. So, but we went up between Woodstock and Ingersoll area, and then eventually we went to London. He didn't feel like going out because well, we went out for a tiny bit, but we really didn't. He didn't really do any train chasing with me. I just kind of tweaked around with his ATCS system to try to get it going. And then there was a whole crap load of magazines that my son got from train magazines. So he just trying to get rid of them. So it was just like gave them all to my son. I was like, holy crap! But you know, you've just been sitting around doing nothing for years, so I know that feeling. But no, but we went out to London. I told you the issues I've been having with getting some of the ATCS to work out that way. It just doesn't pick it up for some reason. I don't know what the issue is, but that was Friday, and I can't really think too far back after that. Before that, I think Thursday I had them. Yeah, that was when I picked them up, was Thursday, because I didn't have them for Christmas Day on Tuesday and Boxing Day on Wednesday, so I was kind of scrambling last week for figuring out for things to do. But then even before that, I had him up to Monday, whatever the hell time it was on Christmas Eve, Monday at 4, I think it was when I originally dropped him off, and I know I was feeling kind of down then. But I still managed to get through things. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. Don't want to go back to work tomorrow. I really don't want to set up the alarm. It was nice being able to sleep in. It was nice to get 8-hour sleeps. I even had a 9-hour one, I think, the one time. But anyways, it's the end of the year for us. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the next 2 days, or 2 days from now, I should say. When I know what I'm doing in the next 2 days, but it's going to be revolved around my son, basically. But after that, I don't know if I'm going to be in 48 hours from now. I'm not too sure how I'm going to be feeling, to be quite honest. I'm a little worried about it. I feel pretty good right now, actually, so that's a good sign. I'm just glad he's in a good mood and he's happy, and I just have to work for a few hours tomorrow and then pick him up after lunch, so no biggie. So that's okay. The real test comes after in 48 hours from now, when I have to drop them off, go back to work, and then not see them on Thursday. But then I see them Friday. It's a short week. I keep telling myself it's a short week, but then it's kind of a tease because after that you get back to reality again. So, but things next year are looking good. Well, before I get to that, like on Wednesday, I don't know what's going on yet. I'm not too sure if I'll be dispatching, if they're looking for a dispatcher, or if I'm going to continue with the Cadiz local on the Southwest server. Thursday, I'm not sure what's going on either, and I'll have to talk to Scott. We'll have to get in touch. Of course, I'm going to get busy, pretty busy again as of tomorrow, because then I'll have New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day. Spending a lot of money too lately, but that's okay. It's been fun. The next 2 months is going to be probably boring for trips and all that other stuff, so it's nice to get these. We've had some pretty cool weather too, or not cool as in nice weather. Tiny bit of snow, but just like a little dusting. Nothing major. Really nice for this time of year, to be honest, for traveling. I mean, today was not a problem. Roads are in perfect condition. Not a problem. And you never know this time of year. This time of year you could have snow squalls. I mean, I know November was tough for us, so. But no, it's been good. Hope you guys have had good holidays as well. As far as the new year goes, like I said, in 2 days, like I'll be doing, despite the fact, it's gonna be tough. I can't pussyfoot that around. It's gonna be. I know it's gonna be tough. So I might just talk. See if I can talk to Scott on what do you call that damn thing? I can't even think of what it's called. I'll have to email him, but the Hangouts, that's it. So I might talk with him Hangouts or Skype or something. So I'll talk with him, and then if I don't talk to him, then I might be on I might do another live stream, or I might not torture myself in 2 days, because I think it's going to be a lot tougher than what it is right now. This is nothing. It's just one of those things. It's like a Sunday, and it is a Sunday but this isn't like a typical Sunday because I'm only going back for half a day. So yeah, I guess I consider myself lucky. Plus, I get paid for everything. It's not like I miss any money or anything. I get paid salary, so it's nice. And I gotta look forward. We've been talking about vacations, and this was the other thing too. And this was a big test for today. The reason why it was important for me to get the CP to work, I was talking with a friend with the ATCS side, and I said to him, I don't understand why I was in Bellevue, Ohio, and I picked up every single control point in the town. But yet CN, for whatever reason, I mean, it's hit and miss. Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. I could be right there, and there's times where I'll be right near there and I can't get a control point. I can't get the one near my house, for example, Glen Ridge. I can't get Jordan, all ones local to me, but yet I can pick up one well over 10 miles away across a major city like London, Ontario. I'm thinking, how the hell is that possible? And he told me in an email reply, he said, well, that's because you don't know what the power NS is using. He says NS could be using a lot more power through their signal, which makes it easier for you to pick up. I said, oh, well, that makes more sense. So I thought about that. I thought, well, let me try CP tonight and see how well things go. And I hit every single control point, even though the line is dead as hell. I was able to actually pick up activity on the control points. In other words, I actually picked up the signal. When you don't pick up a signal, It doesn't matter if a train's there or not. You don't know what the hell's going on unless you can actually see it. But we were talking about different things, and one of the things about the new year and looking forward to 2019 is some of the things. Like I've talked about some of the RTS stuff. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what Run 8's got to look for. I haven't checked Run 8's site. I don't know if there's any new updates for that. The Transcontinental Main Line that I talked about, though, actually runs this way. Now I've actually been across Canada on the let me get the earth. We've actually been out to Vancouver Island a couple times with my son. I've been there. It seems like I go every 5 years. We were there a couple years ago now, or a year and a half ago, I guess it would be. We weren't there last summer, but we were there the summer prior, or this past summer. Or we were actually there summer prior, so a year and a half ago. A little bit closer to home, although far enough. I mean, I've taken trips out to Colorado. I told my son I would never do that. Not the way we did it. We drove out to Denver. I did a 6-day trip between here and stopped stopped at different places along the way. It was exhausting. 8-10 hours. It's one thing going to, like, I've gone to Folkston, Georgia, which is right around, for you guys familiar with the Southeast server or the Southeast Run 8. Folkston's just like right above the northern border here with Florida. Actually, you can drive right into Florida. It's like right at the border, pretty much. You just you can literally drive in 10 minutes away. You can drive into Florida, which we've done. That's the only time I've ever been into Florida is when I'm visiting Folkston. And yeah, I went. You can do that in 4 days. You basically, you can stop. Usually I'll stop. I don't know. I'll usually stop here one night and then take one shot down here, and then that's it. Like somewhere in Virginia or whatever. Usually something like that, and then stop at the same place going back. So I can do it in four nights. So that's not too bad, or 4 days, 4 full days, I should say. So that's not too bad. But when you're going across to all the way across to Colorado, it's crazy. But I've done it. I'll never do that part again. But sure, I'll go down to Florida again. It's nice down there, or Georgia. But the one trip that we're having in mind, which we did a few years ago, was to hit to Thunder Bay. And the reason why I say Thunder Bay, or at least something similar, is the Transcontinental for CP runs along here. Now, despite the fact that CP, where we were tonight, it's not really the real Transcontinental because it's only the Toronto to Montreal section. What this particular part of the Transcontinental is a lot busier, because Canadian Pacific is more of a western railroad, whereas Canadian National is a truly national railroad. Canadian Pacific, really, most of its traffic stops in Toronto, and then it has a little bit of traffic going to Montreal, and then from there it really only there's the one seaport in Montreal where seagoing ships can go up to here. Ocean-going ships, I should say. Lakers and ocean-going ships will go past here, but the container ships will not go past Montreal. So that is as far as CP will go. They do have some manifest that go this way, but it's not really that busy. It's really died down traffic-wise. Not to mention that they make their trains a lot longer now. They mix intermodal with auto racks and all kinds of other things. CN does 10,000-foot trains. So they're really starting to mix things up as well. But that's just the way things are. They're trying to make longer trains, and DPUs, just basically to help power them. And you know, I don't know what's going on with it. I don't think positive train control is a big thing in Canada, at least as far as I know. But anyways, the reason why I mentioned ATCS was something that I've always been part of, observing it as a hobby from my location, or using a Wi-Fi connection, say in the Hamilton-Burlington area, to observe trains through a Wi-Fi connection, a Wi-Fi hotspot, which you could potentially do if you want to. If you can find a good hotspot, although there's a lot of ATCS that's been removed from this particular area. The cool thing about this was there's a Highway 17, that runs up here, but at the same time, I can't really show it, but there's Highway 17 right down here. Now, we've traveled this once. We rushed this. We rushed it so we could get to Thunder Bay as quickly as we can. And this time, I don't want to rush it. So I'm looking at I'm waiting to see the vacation schedule come out this year, and then that's one trip that I think both my son and I have in mind. But the difference is, and there's another play. He likes marathon as well. So there's a lot of different places. CN's Transcontinental, which I've been on the Canadian, and if we really want to, we could, in theory, head up this way as well. There's Long Lac, Hornpain. This is the CN Transcontinental Foyet. So CN runs Gagma, comes down to Sudbury. CP's Transcontinental runs that way. I'm not sure if it's White River or Chapleau. I think, yeah, this is the way it comes. So it really starts hugging along Highway 17 corridor out this way once it gets down that way. So I think we really want to get into that area this year. And what's cool about that is, if it works as good as I think it will basically mean I can drive along the Highway 17 corridor, and I will get a 10-mile radius of everything that's going on dispatcher-wise. So if something does happen, and it's not always right along the highway, you sometimes have to drive a few miles in. Like, for example, Marathon's right along Highway 17, goes through town. There's the rail line here. And then Highway 17, I think, is up this way. Yeah. So you got to drive into town. So you're not too far away. You're only, I don't know so 1 kilometer. This is within, and it's a little bit higher. So the higher you are, and this is water level, you should be able to pick it up. Because the higher you are, you're able to pick up signals much better. It's ATCS, boom, you're able to pick it up. So it hugs the water, but this is, we get going to Marathon anyways. Marathon's cool, but a lot of these other areas, the line will come down. 17 may or may not be as close. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm just looking forward to exploring. I've thought about going east too this year. We were thinking about going out to New Brunswick. It's not much rail traffic. I think we're just going out for the sake of going out. But I've talked about doing certain Amtrak trips. A little difference there is my son, being 10 years old, he doesn't have a passport, and I'd have to get him set up for cross-border stuff. So I'm not too sure if I want to do that or not. I may stay in Canada for the most part, other than driving across with him on various day, 2, 3, 4 night trips at the most. I could drive. We were talking about going, there's no reason why we can't drive across the border and switch over to train too. I mean, that's definitely possible, but we were talking about taking the Maple Leaf from St. Catharines, which goes right through our city and goes right into New York City. to Penn Station, New York City. So definitely possible. So anyways, guys, I think that's it. I'm running out of breath just yapping. So hopefully that explains some of the things that I'm thinking of. I mean, it's more personal things and trips that I'm thinking about doing. But as far as RTS goes, before I let you guys go, that's something. I'm in the right frame of mind. Like I said before, though, I don't know what's going on with Run 8. I'm not too worried about it. I think there's some promising things going to be happening. So I am going to continue to support Run 8 and do what I can. But at the same time, there's I do have a lot of interest. I'm still a signal guy, so dispatching is very important to me, which means that's going to be the focus of my creativity and programming. If I'm going to do programming in 2019, that's where it's going to be. So I believe that I'm looking for February. Once I'm settled, that's the goal is for February. I'm going to have the time to keep myself busy when times, and I should be in much better moods too. I shouldn't be as, worried about missing him and all that other stuff when I know he's just upstairs. It's a lot different. And going back to work and stuff like that, yeah, it's just a fact of life. You got to work to pay the bills, so not a big deal. It is what it is. And once I get back into the rhythm, I find that my job is, for the most part, enjoyable. I do enjoy my job, and the weeks go by quick, the days go by quick. There's fires and all that other stuff that I call them fires, basically. Stuff that you have to deal with and get rid of and put out. But mainly it's routine, so I think I'll be in a better frame of mind financially this year coming up. I'll be in a much better frame of mind, so that's going to only allow me to do more things and not worry about cash too much. I've already started feeling that way, especially a little bit of extra spending I've done through the holidays, so I'm definitely in that frame of mind where I'm a little bit more loose when it comes to that, and feels pretty good. But at the same time, I gotta watch myself. I gotta watch my spending and prepare for different things coming down the road. But anyways, breathe. That's a lot of talking. So we'll see what's going on. I'll probably be in touch with Scott. We'll find out. I don't know if 2 nights from now if I'm going to do another. I doubt I'll be doing another live stream. So, but you guys have a happy New Year. We'll be back on Wednesday. I'll definitely be on the Southwest server. As far as I know, they're running. Last I heard, they're running on Wednesday the 2nd. And yeah, I'll definitely be on there. So that'll be after my first day of work. Yay. Back first full day back. And then Thursday, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another live stream with Scott, or if I'm just going to. I prefer to actually talk to him and work things out, which probably means I won't be doing a live stream. I think what I'll end up doing there is just going ahead and talking things over with him, and if he wants to do it that way, and kind of pick each other's brains to decide where we want to go, which ways, what's he's thinking, what I'm thinking, and stuff like that. And he's usually watching the live streams as well, so he's probably listening in on me as well. And anyways, it's 11:21, so I'm gonna call it the night. Got some emails to send. I'll send you another. I'll send you an email, Scott, as well, too, if you're listening in. But yeah, and I got a couple other emails to send out before I call it the night, and I should be going to bed. Try to get, well, I can't get 8 hours sleep now. It's too late, but anyways, I don't care. I get another 6 hours tonight. I don't care. It's only one more night, so. Anyways, guys, have a good one. We'll talk to you later, and I have a happy New Year, and we will be back in session on Wednesday. Hopefully I'm in a still in a good mood. We'll see. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you later.